And Jesus said, this man who had a good harvest said to himself, what shall I do now? And he came with an idea that he will torn down his barns, build larger ones, store all his goods there of the harvest, and say to himself, you have it good, man. Rest, eat, drink, and be merry. God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will depend on you. In this life, we are very concerned of what people think of us. Oh, when your pastor walk in a parish and say, oh, what did the people think of me? People who begin to be acquainted with other people, they think the same thing. A young man, that the bride bring him home to meet her mother and father, he say to himself, what they think of me? And we try to make well of the good. That is the concern of many people. But the concern that we need to have is not what the people think, but what God thinks of me. And that's supposed to be the most concern that we need to dwell on. In the first reading today, we heard the book of Ecclesiastes speak to us about vanity of vanity, said Olet. Everything is vanity. You work hard, he said, sometimes in the sun, in the rain. You do all hard work to accumulate, and then you leave it behind. And thank God for the undertaker who will give you a piece of cloth to bury you. Before they close the casket, I think even your false teeth they take, beside the jewelry and everything that you have. And everything you accumulate will be a weapon for your children to fight for. Brother does not talk to sister, sister does not talk to brother over inheritance. Today Jesus was asked, Master, tell my brother to give me the share of the inheritance. And Jesus said, I am not your judge. I am not an arbitrator to go between you and your brother. And I ask you to take this advice. Are you ready? Don't go between the onion and the skin, because you remain with this man. Do not try to solve problems of inheritance, because they may come and you are the old. Believe me, dear people, in 30 years, this is the biggest sin I see in my life. How many people in one family, they don't care for the other, because my mother is in hell, because she put a well that is not really fair. Well, I'm going to ask you what is fair. Your sister, who choose to be single, or even if she is married, spend her time with your mother 24 hours a day, changing her diaper, feed her, walk her, take her to the doctor and be there for her. While you were in Alabama, whatever it is, at what do you call it, at the shore, or Cancun, or whatever it is, enjoy yourself. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair that you will be equal inheritance? I don't think so. And I say to you, people, you work for it, you make a will the way you want it. It's your money. If I was you, I would spend it. Or give it to me for the church. You're going to make me in the will. The will stayed St. Rita Parish. Okay, we don't know. And then Jesus said a story which is very, 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 very beautiful story. A man have it good. You know, sometimes, fortune strike at you. And you have a good harvest, you have a good production. And then you think to yourself, I'm going to retire at 55, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, a massive heart attack. How in the world he died? He was so strong. Oh, my dear Lord, I don't believe it. Believe it, dear people. Because if one of those strokes strike between 40 and 55, you are gone. All the world may survive it. And that's what Jesus said at the gospel. You fool. This very night, your life will be demanded of you. That's why I go to that second reading today and remind what St. Paul is trying to say to us. And this is what St. Paul said. If, the condition is, if you have been risen with Christ, you must put your vision on Christ, where he is sitting at the right hand of the Father. Because let's face it, each one's goal, we are here today because one day we want to be with God. You want to go to heaven? Sometimes your wife said that to you. Any one of us here wants to go to heaven, but heaven is not a drink. Heaven is a commitment. And that commitment begins in baptism. Not baptism because grandma said so, or everyone do so, or we need to throw a party. A baptism is a commitment that we die to ourselves. We come in that waters of baptism as sinners, and we rise from that waters as a new person. By putting on Christ, be committed to Christ. And so our concern, our vision is heaven. And that's why St. Paul said, seek what is heaven and not what is earthly. Anyone who seeks what is earthly, he is not in Christ. You can tell me whatever you want. Tell me that you are human. You tell me that you make mistakes. You tell me whatever. If your fundamental option of your life is to deal with evil, you are not in Christ. God and evil, they do not go together. Either you are with God or you are with the evil. There is no choice about it. And I am hoping that our Catholics will leave our church before we are going to send them away. We don't want you to sit on the fence anymore. Either you are for God or you are for the world. And that's why St. Paul said, if you are really baptized and rise with Christ and your vision is in Christ, then stay away from passion, stay away from evil, stay away from idolatry, stay away from things that you made them your God. And believe me, there are people who make money their God. The more they have, the more they want. Give me, give me, give me. Even to the satisfaction of even destroying people. And if you say to them that it's not fair, this is life, this is business, after all, who is going to give me tomorrow? We make our money the greed, we make him our God. Do we have to think of our responsibility and those who are under? Of course, yes. But the more they have, the more they want. It's like they are going to be here forever. Then St. Paul said, stop lying to each other. You know what that means? Stop living two lives. Either you live for God or you live for the world.